My wife looked me dead in the eyes, right in front of her friends, and said, "Stop trying so hard. It's embarrassing." Then she laughed like I was a joke. So I smiled, nodded, and said, "You're right." And that's the moment I quietly ended the life she was bragging about, because I was paying for all of it. My name is Ethan, I'm 32, and I was married to Nadia, 27, for 4 years. When we met, she worked part-time at a small high-end boutique. She didn't make much, but she was charming, confident, stylish, always talking about building something bigger. I believed her. 2 years into marriage, she quit to become a lifestyle influencer. And at first, I supported it. I told myself if she's chasing a dream, I should be her biggest fan. The problem was, she wasn't chasing a dream. She was chasing an image. Her content was the same recycled formula. Smoothies, boss babe quotes, mirror selfies, and coffee shop photos with captions like, "grinding in silence." She had around 3,000 followers and most posts barely broke 50 likes. But her spending? Her spending acted like she had 3 million. Meanwhile, I worked 55+ hours a week as a construction project manager. Long days. Early mornings. Stress. Deadlines. Everything you'd expect. When we got married, I took over the finances. Nadia even joked about it like it was cute. "I'm terrible with money," she'd laugh, like being financially helpless was a personality trait instead of a red flag. So my paycheck went into our joint account and I paid everything. Mortgage, insurance, utilities, 2 car payments, groceries, subscriptions, repairs, about $4,200 a month just to keep our life running. And then there was Nadia's personal budget. At first it was $1,500 a month for clothes, hair, nails, going out. But over time, it crept up. $2,500. $3,200. And eventually nearly $4,000 a month. She wasn't earning a dollar, but she was spending like a celebrity. Facials, salon trips, networking brunches, yoga memberships, designer bags she claimed were investments. Her entire life was built around looking expensive. And me? I grew up watching my father treat my mother with real kindness, so I tried to be that man. Flowers weekly. Date nights. Surprise weekend getaways. Not because I wanted credit, because I thought that's what love was, showing up consistently. Then came our 4th anniversary. I wanted it to be special. I took the day off work. I spent hundreds on premium ingredients, steak, lobster, fancy oils. I cooked for hours. I set the table with our wedding dishes, lit candles, framed photos from our early dates. I wanted her to walk in and feel loved. At 7 p.m. the door opened, and Nadia walked in with her friend Kara and her sister Elena, giggling like they'd been drinking all day. They were dressed up, talking loudly, already planning to go downtown after. Nadia looked around at what I had done, and her face didn't soften. It hardened. I smiled, excited, and said, "Happy anniversary." That's when she rolled her eyes, dramatically, like I had offended her by existing. And loud enough for both of them to hear, she said, "Please stop doing this. It's pathetic. You look desperate." The room went silent. Her friend stared at the floor. Her sister looked uncomfortable. But Nadia wasn't done. She turned to them with a smug smile and said, "See, this is what I always tell you. He does these corny things like flowers and dinner like it's supposed to make me worship him." Then she laughed. "It's honestly ridiculous." I stood there in a dress shirt, holding a bottle of sparkling cider, feeling like someone had poured cold water straight down my spine. Because it wasn't just what she said. It was how easy it was for her. Like she'd been waiting for an audience to finally say what she really thought. I set the bottle down. I looked at her calmly. And I said, "You're right." That confused her. She expected me to argue. Get angry. Instead, I started blowing out the candles, one by one. "What are you doing?" she asked, suddenly less confident. I folded the napkins. I picked up the roses. And I said, "You just taught me something. Romance is pathetic when it's one-sided." I paused. "So it's over. I'm done being pathetic." Then I walked past them, and threw the flowers into the trash. Nadia's friend left 5 minutes later. Her sister followed right behind. Nadia tried to backpedal that night. She said she had a stressful day. That I was too sensitive. That she didn't mean it like that. But something in me had already snapped into clarity. Because I finally saw the truth, I wasn't her husband. I was her sponsor. So the next morning I made the first real change. For 4 years I handled everything: bills, budgeting, savings, investing, due dates. She didn't even know what our mortgage cost. That Saturday she came into the kitchen like usual, phone in hand, half listening. "All right," she said casually. What's the damage this week? I didn't look up. I said, I'm not doing the budget anymore. She froze. What? What do you mean? I finally looked at her and said, you said everything I do is pathetic. So I stopped doing it. You handle your finances now. She laughed at first like I was joking. Then she realized I wasn't. I don't know how to do any of that, she said, panic creeping into her voice. I nodded. Google does. YouTube does. Figure it out like an adult. That same day, I opened a new bank account in my name only. I redirected my paycheck. Then I calculated half of our shared expenses and transferred only my portion to the joint account. $2,100 a month. That was my half. Her responsibility. On Monday, her card declined at a trendy smoothie place. She called me furious. You can't do this to me. I asked, calm as ever, do what? Make me broke. I said, no. I'm making you responsible. And that's when she played her favorite card. She started telling people I was financially abusive. Imagine that, being called abusive because I refused to keep funding luxury. But here's the thing. If someone calls you abusive for expecting them to pay their own way, what they really mean is, how dare you remove my access? Nadia tried everything. First, denial, acting like it was a bank error. Then tears, promising she'd be grateful. Then bargaining, hinting she'd make it up to me if I kept paying. When none of that worked, she got angry. She screamed, called me cold, told me I was ruining her life. Eventually, reality forced her to do the one thing she hadn't done in 2 years. She got a job. Part-time retail. Same type of work she had before. She came home exhausted, complaining about standing all day like it was torture. Customers are so rude. My feet are killing me. My manager is insane. I would just nod and say, that sounds hard. Because for the first time, I wasn't jumping in to rescue her. Then the math hit her. Even working her maximum hours, she made around $1,300 a month. Her bills? $2,100. She was short every month. So she started choosing wrong. She'd pay the mortgage but skip utilities. Or pay the phone bill but ignore the internet. One month the Wi-Fi shut off and she screamed, why didn't you pay it? I said, you're the account holder. That's your bill. The influencer life collapsed next. No new outfits. No fancy brunches. No salon hair. Her content stopped looking aspirational, and her followers dropped. Then came the moment she never expected. Her car got repossessed. She sat on the front steps crying like someone had died. They took it, she whispered. I nodded. That's what happens when you don't pay. She looked at me like I was a monster. Are you seriously not going to help me? I said, I'm not hurting you. I'm just not saving you anymore. That difference destroyed her. A week later, she tried her final move. If you don't fix this, I want a divorce. She expected me to panic. Instead, I said, okay. I'll call a lawyer tomorrow. Her face went blank. Because she finally realized, the threats didn't work anymore. The divorce happened fast. And when her lawyer explained the truth, she unraveled. The house was mine. Most assets were mine. No alimony. Short marriage. She could work. She left with what she came in with, and a pile of debt. Months later, she texted me. I made a huge mistake. Can we talk? I need help. I'm about to be evicted. I ignored most of it. Then one day she asked for $800 just to survive. That time I replied with one word, no. Because here's the lesson nobody wants to hear. Love isn't proved by how much you sacrifice. It's proved by how someone treats you when they think they have the power. And the moment Nadia thought she could humiliate me, she showed me who she really was. So I believed her. And I chose peace. I used to think love meant giving more. Now I know love starts with one thing, respect. And if someone can't respect you, they don't deserve access to your life.